Archangel Michael says, it's an emergency. A heartbreaking news is coming on your home. The one who hurt you is. Open immediately. The silence in your home has been speaking louder than thunder. The air you breathe has thickened, and the walls themselves seem to lean in with secrets. Something old and unseen has crept through the seams of your peace, curling itself around moments that used to feel safe. You felt it in the way your name has been said lately, just a little too slow, too careful, like it's being handled by someone wearing a mask. The kindness that once lived in certain eyes now flickers with something unreadable, hollow like a broken lantern in a storm. You've turned your back, just for a moment, and in that crack of time, something sacred was stolen. Archangel Michael says the shadows are not only outside your doors. They are seated at your table. They know where your heart beats hardest. There are footsteps in your life that carry both affection and treachery, and one of them will soon shatter the illusion you've clung to with trembling hands. The betrayal will not come from a stranger. The heartbreak will enter with a familiar rhythm, like the knock of someone who knows exactly where you hide your fear. This person who once soothed your storms is the very one now feeding them behind your back. The moon trembled behind torn clouds the moment it was decided in secret. In the invisible chambers of spiritual warfare, your name was spoken by both light and darkness. And now, the winds have shifted violently, sweeping you into the center of a divine unveiling. God says there's no longer time for pretending you don't feel it. You've known something is wrong, but out of loyalty or fear or hope, you looked away. But truth does not wait for readiness. It cracks through the floor like a root determined to find the sun. Your dreams have been interrupted for a reason. There have been whispers in your spirit, a flutter in your gut, strange signs in the ordinary. These are not coincidences. This is divine positioning. Your discomfort is the prelude to deliverance. You were marked for justice the moment you were wounded. But heaven has been patient, waiting for you to see what's always been in the corner of your sight. Now, the veil thins, and everything you tried to suppress begins to roar for recognition. Archangel Michael says your name has been dragged through ash by someone who once swore to protect it. This is the emergency. The spiritual assault was not random. It was timed, planned, executed with a smile. The betrayal came wrapped in concern, cloaked in affection. The one who hurt you still walks in your space as if nothing was done. But the air knows. The objects in your home know. The energy is shifting. Your spirit is no longer able to rest in delusion. There are angelic forces pacing at your threshold, waiting for the signal. The enemy has made the first move, but heaven never loses in the end. This is the beginning of a sacred battle, a war not for your destruction, but for your awakening. God says your tears have not been wasted. They've soaked into the soil of prophecy. The pain you've endured has been echoing in the heavens, and now, your rescue is unfolding, not as a gentle breeze, but as a divine storm. You are not abandoned. Though it feels like your world is turning to smoke, this is actually a holy unmasking. The one who pierced you has triggered a divine reaction. Justice moves now, not slowly, not with hesitation, but with a sword drawn in flame. There will be a message soon. A heartbreaking one. It will arrive like thunder during prayer, like a crack of lightning through your ordinary moment. You will hear something that shifts the foundation beneath you. But listen, it is not the end. It is the unlocking. Archangel Michael says the mask will fall, and what is revealed will shake your heart, but also set it free. The lies woven like spider silk across your soul will be burned away by truth's fire. What hurts now will heal with glory. There is no more hiding. There is no more pretending it doesn't hurt. You are stepping into the part of the story where the divine reclaiming begins. And it will begin with heartbreak. You will feel betrayed again, but this time, it will not be without purpose. This time, the wound is also a door. And through it, you will rise, radiant with everything they tried to break. The silence before the emergency is over. The revelation is coming. The night will howl, but you will not fall this time. You are being pulled through the storm by holy hands. You are about to see clearly. The moment comes like glass shattering inside your chest. You weren't ready, but it arrives anyway, merciless in its clarity. The voice on the other end speaks the words, and your world folds inward, slow and brutal, like a sky devouring itself. The one you trusted, the one who smiled in your direction while placing daggers in your shadow, they are the reason the storm has gathered. Your soul knew. It always did. But the confirmation strikes like iron across the spine of your spirit. Archangel Michael says this betrayal was not casual. It was designed. The darkness that took hold of their heart grew silently, unnoticed, while they studied your weaknesses. This wasn't a stumble. It was a strategy. And you, the beloved, were the target. You remember the moments now. The sidelong glances. The silence that followed your joy. The strange delays in their responses. Every piece, once scattered, begins to assemble into a terrifying picture, and the portrait looks back at you with eyes you once loved. God says it was necessary. Not the pain, not the wound, but the revealing. You could not rise while still holding their hand. You could not ascend while dragging their shadow. You were chained to someone whose smile was forged in falsehood. The heartbreak blooms in your chest, wild and merciless. You feel it in your ribs, your bones, your spine. But what's breaking is not your spirit. What's breaking is the illusion they wove around you like a net. What's breaking is the spell. The angels in your room are no longer weeping. They are sharpening swords. Archangel Michael stands now at the foot of your bed, his wings brushing the floor, his eyes lit with celestial fire. He has seen the pages written in blood and betrayal. He says their laughter while speaking against you was not hidden from heaven. Their plans were recorded in the scrolls of divine justice. Nothing they whispered was lost. Nothing they did in secret escaped the eye of God. They didn't just betray you, they touched a child of divine design. And that has consequences echoing beyond this realm. The moment they turned against you, a new path was carved, one where they would taste the sorrow they tried to plant in your heart. God says this is the unraveling. Not of you, but of them. This is not your ruin. This is your clearing. Their name will tremble in your memory like a ghost that no longer has power. You will not carry their name into your next chapter. You are being set free, not gently, but surgically. The blade of truth is cutting away what poisoned your purpose. It hurts, yes. It cuts deeply, yes. But it is also saving you. The betrayal was always a turning point. You tried to build peace on lies, but lies always crumble beneath truth's weight. You tried to forgive while they continued wounding you. But forgiveness without boundaries is surrender. And now, heaven has intervened. There is no apology coming that can undo what was done. There is no explanation that will satisfy the scream inside you. Let it scream. Let it rise like smoke from the altar of your old trust. Let it be seen by God. Because God does see you now, raw, broken, burning with disappointment, and God is not silent. The heavens roar with a name, yours. The angels have gathered, not to console you, but to crown you. This is the moment you begin to be rebuilt. Archangel Michael says you were never naive. You were loyal. You were never weak. You were open-hearted. But now, your heart is being wrapped in holy protection. The betrayal cracked something open, but what rises from it will carry divine fire. Your story shifts now. You are no longer the one wondering why. You are the one rising from the rubble, cloak tattered, but gaze sharpened. You will walk out of this season with authority, not apology. You were meant to see this. You were meant to know the truth. Even if it breaks you for a while, the knowledge is sacred. You now hold the key to your release. You now know who they really are. And knowing is power. Let the ache speak. Let the heartbreak teach. Let the betrayal burn away everything that no longer serves your rising. This fire was allowed not to destroy you, but to forge you. God says the betrayal had to be loud. It had to be clear. Because your purpose is too precious to be tangled in someone else's hidden war. You were never the casualty. You were always the catalyst. Let their name fall from your spirit like dust. Let their energy detach from your light. Let the divine unraveling complete its sacred work. This is the hour of separation. Not out of bitterness, but out of divine necessity. Archangel Michael says, "Rise now." Even with your tears still hot. Even with your trust bleeding. Rise, because what broke you is already being rewritten into something unstoppable. You are not just surviving this. You are being crowned because of it. It happens without warning, something deep in the air shifts, and you feel it before you understand it. The atmosphere grows heavy, almost electric, as though heaven itself is leaning closer to witness what must now unfold. You are no longer simply the wounded, you are the witness of divine intervention. The betrayal you suffered has not gone unnoticed. It has not been brushed aside or buried under time. Every whisper against you, every masked act, every secret attempt to dismantle your spirit has been carried like evidence into the courts of the Most High. God says the scroll has been opened. The case has been heard. The verdict is thundering through unseen realms, shaking foundations built on falsehoods. Divine justice does not stall. It does not hesitate. It moves with terrifying purpose once the hour has come. And the hour has come. You can feel it in the silence before the strike. In the stillness of those around you, who do not yet understand that the spiritual realm is not idle. There are eyes upon this moment, ancient and eternal. Your pain has summoned angels. Your integrity has lit a fire. Archangel Michael says the sword has been unsheathed. Not a weapon of blood, but of reckoning. What has been hidden in darkness is now being dragged into the open, gasping under the weight of its own deception. The one who hurt you has nowhere left to run. This is not revenge. This is righteousness. The reckoning comes not from hate, but from divine balance. They tore into your peace like thieves in the night, but they did not know they were tearing into holy ground. The days ahead will reveal things you didn't ask to know. Their words, their alliances, their twisted intentions, all will be exposed with a clarity that cannot be denied. You will hear confirmations, confessions, and consequences. Each one will sting, but each one is proof that you were never mad, never mistaken, never weak. The world around them will begin to shake. Doors they manipulated will slam shut. Relationships they used as shields will crumble. The false strength they displayed will melt beneath the light now rising to expose them. They will face what they tried to make you swallow. God says no pain you carried was in vain. It was not wasted. It was a sacred ledger, tallied with heavenly hands. And now, those pages are igniting with fire. Not to destroy you, but to clear the path for your vindication. The reckoning will look like chaos to some. To you, it will feel like release. Your spirit, once held hostage by confusion and gaslighting, will begin to breathe again. You will no longer question your own reality. You will no longer shrink beneath the weight of what they denied. This divine moment is not only about what is taken from them, it is about what is returned to you. Your voice. Your clarity. Your dignity. The parts of you they tried to smear, to silence, to bend, those are being restored. You will not have to defend yourself. You will not have to convince anyone of the truth. The truth will speak for itself. Loudly. Repeatedly. Relentlessly. And when it does, you will stand still, not because you are numb, but because you are finally unburdened. Archangel Michael says justice will not just visit, it will dwell. The fires of this reckoning will continue until every root of deception is scorched from your soil. No part of your future will be infected by this past. It ends here. What they thought they got away with is now circling back. The energy they projected is returning to them, heavier and unmistakable. The role they played in your wounding has become their undoing. They sowed in shadows. Now they will reap in the light. Do not be surprised when you hear of their unraveling. Do not gloat. Do not grieve. Observe with clarity. This is the weight of justice, beautiful, painful, divine. It arrives not on your schedule, but always on time. God says your silence was strength, not surrender. Your restraint was not weakness. You handed it over to heaven, and heaven has answered with thunder. You did not fight back, because you were never alone in the battle. Let the winds come. Let the truth roar. Let the shaking begin. What falls now was never built on truth. What remains will be the foundation of your next season, sacred, solid, and sealed by fire. Archangel Michael stands with you still, wings spread wide like a gate of divine protection. The reckoning will not harm you. It will pass over you. You are marked by light, covered by grace, and hidden in a holy place. What they meant for harm has ignited a storm they cannot contain. And you, scarred but not destroyed, will rise through it all. Not just vindicated, but transformed. This is not the end. It is the beginning of everything that was always meant to be yours. The world you knew has crumbled. What was once familiar now lies in charred pieces at your feet, memories scorched, names tainted, truths torn from hiding. You are surrounded by the fallout of a life that can never return to what it was. And yet, in this wasteland, something eternal begins to rise. You are still standing. You, the one who wept silently. You, who held their name in your heart even as they broke yours. You, who felt your worth unravel in the hands of someone who pretended to love you. You, beloved, are not broken beyond repair, you are being crowned. Archangel Michael says the ashes beneath your feet are holy now. They tell the story of a soul who did not surrender to bitterness, but surrendered to truth. Your survival was not passive, it was warfare. And every breath you take now is part of a new prophecy being written in your name. You are stepping forward not as a victim, but as a vessel. Not a martyr, but a monarch. What was taken from you will be returned in forms more powerful than you can yet imagine. The crown rising from these ruins is not ornamental, it is your new authority. God says the pain you endured has qualified you for realms you were once denied. Not because you needed to suffer to be loved, but because through your suffering, you refused to become like those who hurt you. You did not bow to the poison. You did not turn away from the light. And for that, the heavens are lifting you. The final mask has fallen. The last tie has snapped. The spiritual ties that bound you to deception have been severed. You may feel raw, you may feel fragile, but what remains in you now is purified by fire. You are not who you were. And you will never be again. That is your deliverance. That is your inheritance. The betrayal that once felt like a dagger has now become the sword you will carry in your next chapter, not for revenge, but for protection. You will see them again. Not face to face, but in memory. In the lessons. In the way you now discern energy without words. You will thank heaven, not for the betrayal, but for the awakening it triggered. It taught you how to listen to your own soul. God says there is no more going back. You are not being asked to forgive and forget. You are being anointed to remember and rise. Let every scar on your heart become a doorway for divine wisdom. Let every tear you cried be accounted for in your coming abundance. Your home is being re-sanctified. Every object they touched is being spiritually cleansed. The energy they left behind is being exorcised not with rituals, but with holy presence. The angels now walk your hallways, and where their betrayal left rot, the Spirit plants restoration. Archangel Michael says you've been marked, sealed in gold. Your discernment is sharpened. Your aura has changed. You will not be fooled again. The next people to enter your life will not carry daggers behind their backs, they will carry light, truth, and divine alignment. This season has burned you down to the truth of yourself. And that truth is radiant. No longer tangled in performance, no longer waiting for someone to return what they stole. You are no longer in waiting, you are in becoming. The ashes are not a grave. They are a sacred ground for resurrection. And you, holy soul, are rising with the very fire they tried to drown. Your voice will echo in places you once whispered. Your presence will shift rooms you used to shrink in. This is what divine justice looks like. Not just retribution, but restoration. Not just exposure, but elevation. What they tried to bury is now blooming. What they laughed at is now leading. You are the evidence of heaven's vengeance and heaven's mercy intertwined. God says no longer will you cry behind closed doors. Your silence has spoken. Your survival has testified. Now your victory will be public. And it will be undeniable. Let the past burn. Let it fall into smoke and silence. You are not called to rebuild what broke, you are called to reign over what rises. The betrayal is over. The reckoning is complete. The crown has been placed. Now walk. With your head high. With your heart fierce. With your spirit at peace. This is your new era, one not built on illusion, but on divine identity. You are the storm now. You are the light now. You are the sacred vengeance of heaven wrapped in skin.